This week in Mr. Carter's class, we had fun celebrating our stories, and we read them in a blanket fort. We also finished our globes and steam.
This week we made blanket forts. We read our stories to our partners in the blanket forts. We finished our realistic fiction stories and are starting a new writing unit. We added to our globes with landforms. We are transporting fractions to decimals, and then we finished tigerizing.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we made blanket forts to share our writing with our friends. We also changed recesses. In math, we are learning decimals and fractions. In reading, we finished tigerizing and are almost done with Wonder, about 5/6 of the way done.
In Mr. Carter's class this week, we did blanket forts. My partners were River and Olivia. Also, we changed recess groups. We were with Mrs. Rafferty's class, Mrs. Pepin's class, and our class. This week was very fun.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we made TV dinner trays and art and got feet from Jam. This week in Mr. Carter's class, we finished our book Tigerizing, and in art we finished our TV dinner tray. Last, we are almost finished Wonder. Have a great rest of your day.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we made blankets for This week in Mr. Carter's class, we made blanket forts to celebrate our stories. I really enjoyed that because I just like blanket forts.
Hello, my name is Olivia. The first thing that we did is we finished our stories and we got to do a blanket fort to read our stories to other people. And at recess, me and a few of my friends are doing this role play. I would like to tell you more about it, but I might be out of time. Bye. Stay happy.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we changed recess with Miss Rafferty's class. I have a friend named Colin and we play football and jackpot.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we are learning about decimals and math. And in art, we are making TV dinner trays.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we started a new writing unit and went from stories to essays. And Hattie's reading test called Score Than the Rest. And in art, we did TV dinner trays and finished tigerizing.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we had a celebration for our realistic fiction stories. We made blanket forts. I really like my story. We also did a Thanksgiving escape room. Last, we finished our tigerizing class book.
In Mr. Carter's class this week, we made blanket forts and read our stories. And we did a Thanksgiving escape room. And we are on the last point of view in Wonder, which is Augie. And we started a new writing unit. And in art, we are finishing our TV dinner plates.
On Tuesday, we built blanket forts and we used flashlights to read our stories. We also finished tigerizing. I was not here for a lot of it.
This week, we did a turkey escape room. We also, in art, made TV dinner plates. And we made blanket forts to read our stories. Lastly, we made landforms on our globes.
are at the end of Wonder. We are on Augie's point of view. We have about 10 pages or so left.
Today in Mr. Carter's class, we made blanket forts, and we had the Thanksgiving escape, and we are at the end of Wonder. Also, we changed recess.
This week in Mr. Carter's class, we celebrated the end of our running unit. We celebrated with blanket forts. We made blanket forts and went underneath and shared our stories. This week in Mr. Carter's class, we finished our realistic stories and we made blanket forts. We also are on the last point of view in Wonder, and I really like Wonder.
This week in STEAM, we finished making our globes and tectonic plates. And in Mr. Carter's class, we did a whole lesson on decimals.